All right, respond appropriately to feedback and maintain or improve performance accordingly. Feedback is a crucial part of the supervisor RBT relationship. Part of the supervisor's role is to provide you with feedback. Okay, they want to help you improve. Remember, everybody's goal here is to provide the best possible service for our clients. That is our number one goal. Feedback on your performance and your implementation is going to lead to improved performance from our clients, and that is our goal. Feedback leads to improvement in your performance as well. Feedback helps you develop new or advanced clinical skills. So for running a behavior plan or implementing some sort of measurement you've never done, feedback will help you learn these skills so you can do them yourself. Feedback will help you solve problems or clear up misunderstandings. So as the treatment plan evolves, as the behavior plan evolves, feedback is going to be important to make sure that you're always understanding exactly what you're doing when you're running or implementing the treatment plan. So if you're ever confused, if you ever have a question, go to your supervisor and get feedback. You want to use this feedback, okay, and at least try to implement the feedback given, okay? Apply the feedback, learn from it. We want to provide quality services to our clients whenever possible, and we want to provide the highest quality services, okay? It's not about us, it's not about our supervisors, it's about the client getting the best service possible. Feedback is how we get there, okay? Feedback, you should embrace feedback as an RBT. You should love feedback. You should seek out feedback. You should be worried, okay, if your BCBA or supervisor isn't giving you feedback, okay? They should be at least giving you something, right? If not, go out and ask them for it, okay? Feedback is very important so you continue growing as an RBT. Okay, question. Feedback is a necessary element in the BCBA RBT relationship. Which of the following is not an example of how feedback should be used? So, how should we not be giving feedback? Okay, so this is kind of a warning sign for you as an RBT. Okay, what's good feedback and what's bad feedback? Okay, because you should be getting good, positive, supportive feedback, not negative, tearing you down feedback. Okay, so which of one of these examples is an example of that bad feedback? A, improve RBT services. No, feedback should try to improve RBT services. Okay, that's one of the main points, right? B, scold and reprimand the RBT. No, right? This is not how feedback should be used. Feedback should not be used to scold and reprimand you as the RBT. Okay, if your BCBA is constantly scolding you, reprimanding you, embarrassing you, okay, that's poor feedback, and that's a problem with the supervisor, and that should be addressed, okay? Feedback should be used to clear up confusion. Feedback should be used to provide training to the RBT. Feedback should not be used to belittle you, okay, or make you feel worse, right? It should be helpful, okay? All right, continuing. A good relationship with your supervisor slash BCBA is an important element of feedback. You and your supervisor may have different backgrounds, personalities, or communication styles, but feedback should be focused on the client and your priority should be the client. So no matter your relationship with your BCBA, your supervisor, even if you don't get along, you don't agree with them, okay, they're still in charge of the case, okay? They're the ones ultimately responsible for that case, which is why when they're giving feedback, okay, they're trying to better that case. I promise you they're not trying to make it worse, okay? Because ultimately, they're the ones who have to answer for the outcomes of those cases, okay? So even if you don't get along, even if you don't agree, at least try to accept that feedback and attempt to implement it. Now, if it's not going well, that's when you go back to your supervisor and say, hey, I tried to implement this. It's just not working out. Can we try something else? But at least give it a shot when they're trying to help you, okay? So, question. Part of communicating with your supervisor is requesting feedback when needed. Which of the following scenarios represents a situation where an RBT should request feedback? So put yourself in the RBT shoes, okay? Pretend like you've already passed the exam, you're an RBT in the field. What represents a situation where you should be asking for feedback, okay? Kind of role play here, think about it. A, an RBT is working with the client and observe a brand new behavior that isn't in the behavior plan? Absolutely, right? If you ever come into contact during your session with something that's not in the plan, that you don't understand, that you've never seen before, you should definitely get feedback immediately, okay? As quick as you can, get feedback and ask for feedback on how you should be responding to either the behavior or whatever comes up, okay? Don't try to just figure it out yourself and put yourself in a situation, okay, where you're struggling, right? That's what your supervisor is there for. Use your supervisor, okay? Use them as much as possible. What about B? An RBT is having an issue with parents constantly interrupting their session. Okay, this can happen sometimes where the parent gets too involved and you can't actually run your session how you want it. Okay, remember, the job of the supervisor and the BCBA is to handle these situations, right? They're parent trainers, they help train parents, etc. Okay, if you're having an issue with parents or grandma or grandpa or guardian or whoever it is, okay, ask your supervisor, right? Remember, all these ethical items and all these E and F items on the task list are really just about communication when it comes down to it, okay? If you're communicating well and accepting communication well, okay, all this stuff should come very naturally to you, okay? C, the BCBA designs a new treatment plan, but the RBT does not fully understand the scale acquisition targets. Absolutely. Maybe the biggest time you should get feedback, okay, is when you're implementing the plan or beginning to implement a plan, okay, and you don't understand something. Feedback is so crucial to this, okay? Feedback should be clearing these misunderstandings up, okay, as quickly as possible. And the only way to do that is to seek out feedback, okay, when you're confused. So when should you request feedback? Well, A, B, and C are all examples. So D, all the above is your answer. Okay, last slide. A good relationship with your supervisor BCBA is an important element of the feedback. Good relationship does not mean you need to like them. It does not mean you need to be friends outside of work, but a good, working, healthy, professional relationship, okay, is an important element of this feedback. Feedback should be supportive and helpful. And then RBTs should respond to feedback appropriately, meaning don't get upset, don't get offended, okay? The feedback is there to help. It's not there to make you feel worse, okay? It is there to help, right? Feedback can provide insight into current performance and improve future performance. How are you ever going to know how you're performing as an RBT if you're not getting feedback, okay? Everybody wants to know how are they doing, right? Feedback is how we get that insight. Again, if you're not getting that feedback, seek it out. Ask, hey, how am I doing? Can I improve in anything? What can I do better? Okay, that's how you improve as an RBT. And if you really care about your clients and care about this job, you're going to want feedback constantly. Question, you are assigned a new supervisor on a case that you have worked on for the past 2 years. The new supervisor provides you feedback on how you're running DTT. The feedback instructs you to run DTT differently than how you've been running it. What is the best way to respond in this situation? Okay, so something happened to your old supervisor, and now you've got a new supervisor on the case, okay? They come in and they want to start doing things differently, right? Well, you know you've been running DTT the same way for a couple years, but now they want you to do it a brand new way. How do you respond? A, acknowledge the feedback, but tell the supervisor you're going to keep running it the same way since it worked in the past. Okay, well, you do acknowledge the feedback, right? But remember, the supervisor still has the final say, okay? You still want to give it a shot. Even if you know it's wrong, give it a shot. It's just like everything else we do, right? Give it a shot. If it's not working, come back and say, look, this isn't working. What can we do better? Okay? But don't choose to just not implement it. Okay? They might make a good point. It might become even better than what you've been doing. Okay? You don't know till you've tried, right? B, ignore the feedback and continue to run it the way you've been running it. No, absolutely not. We don't want to ignore the feedback. Okay, remember, communication, communication, communication. Good communication is the key. Okay. C, attempt to implement the feedback and then communicate with your supervisor if it isn't working. Okay, so this looks good, right? Acknowledge the feedback, try to implement it. If it's not working, go back to your supervisor and explain what's going on. And then together, you can solve the issue or whatever is going on. Okay. But this is the best course, right? We're not ignoring what's going on. Okay. We're going to attempt to implement it, right? And then if it's not working, then we go back, okay, and try to work something out. Do you complain to your supervisor about your boss? Absolutely not right. Never the right answer. So F2, common sense, right? You get feedback. It's trying to make you better. Respond appropriately, okay? Improve your performance accordingly. Then if it's not working, go back, communicate. That is the key, communication. Okay, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe. It helps me out so I keep putting out this content. If you're looking for our practice materials, check out rbtexamreview.com. We offer 2 practice exams, a RBT study guide. Our combo pack comes with everything and flashcards. And then, of course, we have our competency study guide for both the initial and the renewal. So keep studying hard, okay? Any comments or questions, email me. Leave them below. I'm happy to help. I'll be back Sunday with a shout-out video and then 3 more videos next week. So keep working at it, and I'll see you soon.